Deinosuchus is an extinct crocodilian that lived at the end of the Cretaceous. It was an alligatoroid, which, you guessed it, means it was closely related to modern alligators. It was absolutely huge though, like upwards of 10 meters huge. In this video, I'll describe its discovery and history, and then what we know about its evolution. In the late 1850s, a guy whose name is unironically Ebenezer found 2 huge fossilized teeth in North Carolina. Shout out to all the Ebenezers out there. He assigned them to Polypticodon, which he thought was a crocodilian, but was actually a pliosaur. So he was right that it was a crocodilian, but the crocodilian he thought it was a pliosaur, so he still managed to be way off. It wasn't until 1903 that someone else found osteoderms, which are a hard kind of scale, that were kind of just laying around I guess, and when they kept digging, they got excited because they found a bunch of huge bones. While they were digging, they thought it was a huge ankylosaurid, but as soon as they brought him back to examine, they realized it was a crocodilian. Everyone was like, "That's boring, Mom, I wanted dinosaurs," and then they stopped studying it. Honestly, I get that. When I was a kid, I thought Dimetrodon was super cool till I found out they weren't dinosaurs, and then I immediately lost interest till recently. It's like when I found out Charizard wasn't a dragon type. Anyway, Deinosuchus didn't get back into the spotlight till a big old skull was found in the 40s, and the whole animal was estimated to be 15 meters. Some people apparently thought this was a conservative estimate and that it could be bigger. Yo, size ain't everything. Okay, but we're in 2024. What does Deinosuchus actually look like? Overall, it just looks like a big alligator, but there are a few things here and there that make it unique. While its snout is broad, the tip is a little bulbous. It's giving kinda gharial, but not that intense. No one's really sure what it's for. Deinosuchus teeth were big and strong, built for crushing rather than slashing. Their bite force was probably crazy, considering that the modern saltwater crocs have the strongest bite force we know of, and these dudes were bigger and badder. At least 20k newtons. Its osteoderms were huge and thick, meaning they were probably strong enough to support Deinosuchus out of water. Yeah, you weren't safe from it even if you stayed out of water, kinda like modern gators. Overall, they probably hit 9 to 10 meters in length on average, but could have capped out at 12. It's not often I describe an animal that's bigger than 100 Big Macs. Times I used to get the Big Mac scale wrong by an order of magnitude don't count. It's tough to say if it was the largest crocodilian ever, but it's at least close to tied for first. Here's the final art. These guys were built to eat dinosaurs. Some populations stuck to smaller ones and marine turtles, but there are other populations of Deinosuchus that were stronger and seemingly built to hunt megafauna. They were probably the apex predators in the area. Imagine seeing this do a death roll on a giant ornithopod. No thanks. Deinosuchus' growth rate was slower than most dinosaurs, and they probably lived longer. To compare, T-Rex probably reached maturity before 20 and only lived 8 more years after that. Deinosuchus might have taken 35 years to reach maturity, and then lived more than 15 years afterward. Basically, their lifespan was about double the T-Rex. Imagine being warned of this huge predator as a baby and growing up with the fear of it, and then telling your own children about the same individual, and then dying of old age as the huge predator is still just as strong. It's like a politician, wah wah wah. Deinosuchus evolved from alligatoroids that split apart from crocs and gharials 80 to 100 million years ago, which was 10 to 30 years before Deinosuchus lived. Deinosuchus is the most basal member of this group, and it wasn't nearly as wacky sized. Its skull was about 40 centimeters long compared to Deinosuchus 150. Other than that, it kinda just looked like a gator. Let me know if you got cool Deinosuchus facts. There isn't much on Wikipedia. They evolved from basal crown group crocodilians, which basically look the same. What makes Deinosuchus special is that it evolved to eat dinosaurs. Probably. Crocodilians evolved from Pseudosuchians, which are one of the 2 main groups of archosaurs. I haven't talked about crocs before, so allow me to info dump a bit. Archosaurs are the big group that includes dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and crocodilians. The only archosaurs alive on Earth today are crocodilians and birds, but if you look at the more basal ones, stuff gets interesting. Archosauria is really divided into 2. Avametatarsalia, which includes dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and their archosaurian ancestors, and Pseudosuchia, which includes crocodilians and their archosaurian ancestors. The main difference has to do with their hip and ankle joints, and that Avametatarsalia was better adapted for a bipedal stance, though some Pseudosuchians were bipedal too. The coolest thing to me is that even the most basal archosaurs might have had hair-like structures. Basal avimetatarsalians almost certainly did, since dinosaurs and pterosaurs had the same kind of hairs, but it's possible Pseudosuchians had them too, and then the crocs alive today just lost them somewhere along the 200 million year way. Here's a drawing of a fluffy crocodile that definitely never existed. This is the section of the video where I speculate. What if Deinosuchus survived? Remember Deinosuchus? How would it evolve in the 70 million years since, especially without big dinosaurs to feast on? Let's start with how it would have looked in the Paleogene. Deinosuchus was a North American predator. I thought about making another politician joke, but I gave up. But anyway, what lived in North America during the Paleogene? At the start, it was mostly small animals, but later megafauna was rhinos, pigs, mastodons, ground sloths, and a few others. It's pretty clear why Deinosuchus went extinct. There wasn't anything to eat for a few million years. So there's two directions we could go with this. First is that Deinosuchus got smaller and basically became what looks like your bog standard modern gator, so it could actually survive. Or if we pretend they somehow survived till there was bigger prey, we could speculate a big land predator crocodilian. Since I already went the whole it turned into a regular modern looking animal route in my last one of these, I'm gonna have a little fun with this one. Here's the final art. During the Paleogene, Deinosuchus was forced to transition to land to survive and eat big animals. I don't know, maybe aliens came in and cryo-froze some of them for a few million years till bigger animals evolved. Anyway, while it did get smaller, it also got more agile. I know it looks chunky, but think of it like a big carnivorous hippo. Some Pseudosuchians in the Mesozoic actually did something similar, and a few of those even developed something like hooves. Crazy stuff. But yeah, that's the inspiration for this, and it's the direction I'm going. It could move fast, like 30 to 40 miles an hour or something. Its huge head allowed it to hunt mostly using its jaws, which is why I called it Cephalosuchus. Its tail is also much smaller, so it doesn't have to lug it around all the time. In the Neogene, animals started to look a lot more familiar. It was pre-Ice Age though, so no woolly mammoths or humans yet. In perfect crocodilian style, it stayed mostly the same. It's got a bigger head and body with a proportionally smaller tail and bigger brain. This way it could hunt a bit more strategically and its body was more aerodynamic. Other than that, it's pretty similar. In my last one of these videos, I had kind of a brain fart and stopped at the Neogene. There's also the Quaternary, which is the last 2 million years. Again, it's mostly the same, but I don't think it would have lasted till modern day. I imagine the hordes of buffalo in North America would have been the Deinosuchus' main food source, but as they became overhunted by humans, Deinosuchus might have went extinct. I'm sure if people saw this big reptilian predator, they probably would have wanted to kill it too. Maybe if it went the regular alligator route, it would have survived. Oh well. That's about it for this video. Check out my Patreon to support me and get your name at the end of my videos. Thanks Captain Kobop and ArtOfDying. My next one of these videos will be on Tyrannosaurus. It'll be a good one. Hope to see you then, and thanks for watching.